A very good afternoon to you. This is News Now on Flu 94.9 FM Umwahia, the Flu of Garden State. My name is Temple Barrah. Here are the headlines. Police to withdraw politicians' security aids ahead of elections. NGO laments absence of diaspora voting in Nigeria's electoral framework. On the foreign scene, Supreme Court has blocked abortion law on Louisiana. The details will come to you in a moment. Glad to know you're tuned in to Flu 94.9 FM News Now at noon. Here are the details of the news. Policemen attached to politicians in the ruling All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party, as well as other 7 very important persons in the country, will be withdrawn ahead of the February 16 elections. The first spokesperson, Frank Mba, disclosed that the withdrawal of policemen would affect all categories of VIPs, including state commissioners, businessmen, and individuals with police aids. It was gathered that over 20,000 Special Protection Unit operatives of the force and riot policemen attached to prominent Nigerians would be recalled and deployed for election duties by the police authorities. The national chairman of the Social Democratic Party, Olufalaye, is denying resigning as the national chairman of the party. Falaye, who spoke to newsmen at his residence in Akure, said he only retired from active politics.
I decided last year to retire almost at the age of 80 from partisan politics. But this is yet to be announced for a number of reasons. So the public does not know this. Number one, my backdated birthday was on the 21st of September last year, which was only 13 days to the National Convention meeting. Now, if I were to announce my retirement, 30 days to a National Convention, it will, of course, a lot of disruption, discussions that led to the party decision to endorse the president. I was not involved at all because, as I said, I have decided that my successor should now run the party.
Meanwhile, former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, says he remains the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, despite reports that the party has endorsed President Muhammadu Buhari as its consensus candidate for the 2019 general elections. Duke claimed he was being fought by a presidential aspirant in the party who he believes is from the wrong part of Nigeria.
It's split down the ranks. Unfortunately, you have folks in different chapters of the party saying they do not accept this decision. Let me make something clear here. Most of the folks in my party are those who are against the status quo, either PDP or the APC. So it's a decision that I think is unfortunate. Most of us were aspiring to chart a new course for our nation and providing alternatives, like I said in my statement, to the current gladiators. To go back and endorse one of them, I think, is a betrayal of that. But regardless of that, it means nothing because SDP is still on the ballot. I remain on the ballot. So an endorsement by a few people, out of frustration, I must say, does not change the narrative.
The Supreme Court in Abuja has upheld the order of the Federal High Court nullifying the All Progressive Congress primaries in Rivers State. The trial court had held that the primaries were held in disobedience to a court judgment barring the party from conducting congresses pending the determination of a suit filed by 22 aggrieved members of the party. The Apex Court, in its judgment, set aside the ruling of the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, which in October 2018 upheld the interlocutory order of the High Court. The All Progressive Congress APC is reacting to the Supreme Court ruling on the party's primaries in Rivers State. APC National Publicity Secretary Lanre Issa Onilu told reporters that the party's legal department was looking into the judgment. Earlier, the Supreme Court upheld the High Court judgment, which initially barred the party from conducting its ward, local government, and state congresses in Rivers. Still in politics this afternoon, the leadership of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, is commending the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka for endorsing its presidential candidate Kingsley Moghalu in the forthcoming general elections. The chairman of YPP, Bishop Amakri, made the commendation shortly after the YPP presidential candidate was endorsed by Soyinka.
Let me take this very opportunity to really extend on behalf of the entire family of the Young Progressives Party across board to thank the concerned citizens led by the Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka for finding it very deemed to endorse our presidential candidate in the person of Professor Kingsley Moghalu. We appreciate that. What this turns out to play is that indeed the wind of a paradigm shift is blowing as we speak today in Nigeria.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced the extension on the deadline for the collection of permanent voters' card. Addressing newsmen in Abuja, the INEC National Chairman Mahmood Yakubu revealed that the PVC collection scheduled to end today would now extend till Monday, when the process would end nationwide.
In the last couple of days, we have been inundated by calls from Nigerians to review the current process of collection of the permanent voters' card. In response, the Commission has taken the following decisions. Number one, the collection of PVCs scheduled to end today, Friday, 8 February 2019, is hereby extended nationwide to Monday, 11th February 2019. This will include Saturday and Sunday.
Meanwhile, prospective voters are decrying the difficulty in collecting their permanent voters card PVC. Speaking to newsmen at the INEC PVC Collection Center, they complained of various vices hindering them of access to the card.
For 3 weeks I've been coming. I have been coming. They send text again to reassure, thinking that it is ready. Do you know many people have even come here and they will still give them their temporary back that it's not ready?
Actually, I registered at Niger State and I applied for transfer. I and my husband collected his, but up till now, I can't. I've been here 7 times.
I've come here. This is making it 4 times to collect this. When my card is inside, they will bring it out, say my own is not there. But I have collected the same car. We went the same together. They snap us together. We enter the same car and come back house. And up to
Terrible situation with the polity heated up in earnest. Well, we'll move on now with other stories. Journalists who will be covering the 2019 elections in Abia State are being charged to remain professional in their reportage. Addressing newsmen in Omar ahead of the elections, the administrative secretary of the commission, Joseph Anaga, highlighted the need for journalists to identify their genuine members to avoid impersonation during the exercise.
I implore you people to know your rules, your don'ts, those things you are not allowed to do, because the press are very, very important and crucial in the process of this election. Your report alone can make election to be very, very successful. That's free, fair, credible, transparent. Your report also can equally mar the whole process. If you say that everything done is not according to this, before you can correct that media print, it will take a lot of time. I appeal to you to be properly guided.
He reminded them of need not to interfere in the electoral process as organized by the commission. The People's Democratic Party, PDP Diaspora Initiative, is lamenting the absence of diaspora voting in Nigeria's electoral framework. Founder of the organization, Victoria Mpamugo, expressed the concern while speaking with newsmen in Umuahia, stressing the millions of Nigerians who abroad are continually disenfranchised in the electoral process.
It is something that is a very big concern to diaspora because up until now we don't even get it. We don't know why we cannot vote. We don't have to come to Nigeria to vote. Seriously, we don't need to travel to Nigeria during elections to vote. For instance, in the United States, we just had a midterm election. That's where the ballot system, absentee ballot system, comes in. So why can't we get it done in Nigeria? It's a very big concern because there are millions and millions of us in United States alone. Now, can you imagine how many we are outside of this country? Because trust me, there's no country you can find in Nigeria.
She reminded Nigerians on the need to participate fully in choosing their leaders while calling on INEC to ensure a credible election.
Now, as citizens, you have a right to vote. When you turn 18, you're saying, as an adult, you should be able to vote and also be voted for. We're also here to sensitize and also spread that awareness. That is not enough for you to just sit at home saying, well, it doesn't really matter. Well, I'm not a politician. You don't have to be a politician to vote. As a citizen, it is your right to choose your leader. You should be able to choose the people that are leading you.
The US-based organization is engaged in mobilization of Nigerians to embrace democracy and promoting gender equity and youth empowerment. News now on Flu 94.9 FM continues shortly with foreign news, sports, and entertainment.